Time for the only radio show of its kind. Auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, veterans of vintage. It's the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. For the next hour, enjoy great information about buying and selling antiques and collectibles, and some interesting stories. Now, the Donley Auctions Hour.
Welcome to the Donley Auctions Hour. Thank you for joining us. We are here every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. I'm Susan, and I'm here with Randy Donley. We are the owners of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. We are just 60 miles west of Chicago, folks. We're here today to help you determine if you have any valuable items at home, in your basement, garage, your attic, that you may want to sell at auction. Hi, Randy.
Hey, Susan. Isn't this fun? I got to tell you, this never gets old. I just love doing this show.
It is a lot, especially when we're recognized out there in the world. I can't believe it. I'm shocked sometimes.
You know, the only problem I have with this show, it goes by too fast.
It does. So
There's never enough time.
Let's jump right into it because we have some great auctions coming up, and I want to talk about the next one, May 20th and 21st. It's next weekend, folks. Mark your calendar. Firearms, ammunition, gun accessories, reloading gear, sportsman equipment, all kinds of great stuff on Saturday.
That's right.
On Sunday is military memorabilia, and we're going to touch on some great items that we've gotten in recently on both of those days. So we do want you to come out to Union, Illinois next Saturday and Sunday.
And call us if you do have items that you'd like to consign, because certainly, even though we're running a gun and military auction right now, it's not too early by any means to consign for the next one. We run multiple auctions throughout the year for guns and military. And the next one's already in July.
Yeah, we had so much stuff come in that we couldn't get it into this one that we're going to start building the next one in July. So it's never too late to consign with us. So give us a call.
Never too early.
Never too early. 815-923-7000. You can call us, ask for Randy. He'll, tell you what your next steps are to get those items consigned. We'll take one item or several items, an entire collection, and we'll make it fit into your wallet.
You got it. So what are we going to mention?
I want to talk about some of those fabulous firearms we have coming up on Saturday. Yeah. I know we touched a little bit on the Glispin Colt revolver.
Yeah, now that was the gun that the sheriff actually used in the raid, where Jesse James in 1876 went after the town of Northfield, Minnesota to rob the bank. And the Jesse James gang, the younger brothers, I mean, it was just a wild, wild scene because the town had been tipped off and they knew the Jesse James gang was coming. So, my gosh, it was mayhem.
You know what I learned is that the Wild West town, which you ran for 40-plus years, actually did a reenactment of that bank robbery. Is that right?
It's amazing. Yes, we did that for so many years. So a lot of our listeners out there remember coming to Wild West Town. And over Labor Day weekend, we always performed the Jesse James raid on the town of Northfield, Minnesota. It was quite an event. So this pistol coming all the way back to Union, Illinois now for auction is just incredible because this is the sheriff's pistol that actually shot Charlie Pitts and killed him during or after the raid when they took the posse out and tracked down the whole gang.
Tracked him down, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Coming up for auction on Saturday, May 20th. So what we're telling everyone, all of our listeners out there, is that these are the kind of items we're looking for. Items with provenance.
You bet. That's provenance is always the key to getting big money for items. But, what are some of the other
Tell me about the Smith & Wesson, that third model. It's a Russian target revolver with a removable stock. What do you know about that?
Well, that's an extremely rare gun for high advanced gun collectors because this is a Smith & Wesson that was actually a prototype. It's not even serial numbered. It's a one-of-a-kind special gun that they were planning to produce. And, of course, it just never went into production. But it's a Smith & Wesson Russian model with a stock.
Wow. Good to know. We also have a very rare Dance Brothers Confederate revolver, an early 1886 Winchester. I mean, just some great firearms coming up on May 20th.
Even a pistol that was used by Wells Fargo. I mean, just really historic stuff with, again, all kinds of great provenance. And, we've been talking about this for a few weeks now on the radio that this collection was coming up. And because of that, we have acquired even more for the July auction. We have Wyatt Earp's pistol. We've got Clyde Barrow's pistol from Bonnie and Clyde fame. We have Wyatt Earp's vest. All these things that have come in simply because we're talking about it here on the radio.
Thank you to our listeners out there for getting in touch with us. But also, I want everyone to know it's not just historic items coming up in May that have provenance. We have, 500 firearms in this auction? Mm-hmm. Everything from modern to antique, black powder, hunting rifles, military rifles.
Right. So
something for everyone at all levels.
If you'd like ranges. To either buy just for your own use or invest in firearms, this is the auction to do it. Both. That's on Saturday and Sunday. We have military relics. So
right, and I do believe there's some new in-box items as well, and thousands of rounds of ammunition.
That
so
we do
run fast to Donley Auctions Saturday, May 21st. We'll have coffee and donuts ready for you at 8 a.m.
Or simply go online right now. Everything is online on a catalog. You can go and just in the privacy of your home be able to look and see what we have for sale. And who knows, you might be interested, or you might say, wow, I've got that. I need to sell it.
I need to get rid of that, too. So if you go to DonleyAuctions.com, DONLEY, auctions with an S, DonleyAuctions.com, click on the red button that says Firearms and Ammo. It'll take you directly to the online catalogs. You can see everything we have listed and give you an idea of what time of the day those items will come up. In case you can't be here, we'll still take your bids. Give us a call at 815-923-7000.
Now, that's day one with the firearms. Day two on Sunday, we've got a great selection of military relics that we're going to be selling.
Oh, where do you begin on that? There's so many great items. My favorite item in this auction is that World War II paratrooper helmet. It's fabulous. If you haven't seen it, it's my thumbnail on the auction. It's a German helmet.
It really is. It's a German helmet captured by an American GI. Thank God for our American GIs that fought so courageously to keep this country safe and what it is today. Thank you, all the veterans, and all veterans, of course, not just World War II vets, but all the veterans that have done so much for us to keep us. But,
that's right.
They brought back
you.
World War II veterans brought back so much memorabilia. They were encouraged to send relics home.
Right.
So they were sending home daggers, helmets, insignia, complete uniforms. They even sent back complete cannons. It's just absolutely crazy.
Well, talk about this cannon, that howitzer that we have in the auction. That's on Sunday.
That is. We've got actually a couple cannons. We have the one that we found right here in Palatine.
That's right. Thanks to our listener again.
Yep. Had it in his garden. And now another listener called and said, well, gee, I've got a cannon out of an airplane sitting in my corn crib up in Wisconsin. So who knows what's out there. But the uniform groupings, we're actually selling some of the groupings that were on display at the Wild West Town. The very famous Colonel Edward Davis out of Evanston, Illinois, had an illustrious career from 1905 all the way to 1932. And what a grouping this is, uniforms and photography and everything from Colonel Davis.
Well, I saw the photos, and it looks like everything's shot right in place in the display case at the Wild West Town Museum.
It's still there.
So we're not taking it apart or anything. But
not yet.
I was wondering, is that gun included in the...
Well, that's actually Colonel Davis's pistol, and we're going to sell that as an A lot because a lot of uniform collectors don't collect firearms and vice versa. So we're going to sell the uniform grouping as one and then the pistol as another grouping so that if somebody buys the uniform and wants the pistol, they can bid on
that's the only gun really on Sunday.
No, there's another gun.
One, part of another grouping, I bet.
Or two, because we've got the cannons, for one thing. Those are on Sunday. But we have the grouping, the uniform grouping right from Hampshire, Illinois, that charged up San Juan Hill with Teddy Roosevelt.
I love it.
The jacket and hat and photography and just a beautiful story. Again, provenance. We know who owned it and everything. But the rifle in that grouping from the Spanish-American War, which is a great piece also. That'll be an A lot also.
Well, some fascinating items coming up next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in our next few segments. But I want to touch base real quick on a special guest we have coming up next. Do not go anywhere. You don't want to miss this. I am honored to have this guest on the phone. His name is...
As we should be.
I know,
Absolutely.
right? Jeffrey Sanfilippo, the CEO of Sanfilippo & Son Incorporated, the founders of the Fisher Nut Empire. Oh, my gosh. I can't wait to talk to Jeffrey. He's been a client, family friend. You've known his family forever.
Very good friend, absolutely. And they are the premier collectors.
Right.
I mean, the best of the best, and a collection that's just unimaginable.
If you haven't been to the Sanfilippo estate for a tour or a special event, that's a bucket list item, folks, for sure. Make sure you get that on your list. Don't go anywhere. Jeffrey Sanfilippo, CEO of Sanfilippo, coming up next. You are listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560, The Answer.
They've been called auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, even veterans of vintage. And they can introduce themselves. Thanks for listening. This is the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Susan, co-owner of Donley Auctions. I'm here with Randy Donley. We have a special guest for you folks. We're so honored to have Jeffrey Sanfilippo with us today, the CEO of Sanfilippo & Son Incorporated, the founders of the Fisher Nut Empire. Jeffrey, you there with us?
I'm here. Thank you, Susan. Great introduction.
Oh, my gosh. We're so happy to have you with us today. We want to talk a little bit about your collecting history and background, a little bit about the foundations, and I'm going to let Randy start asking some questions.
Jeffrey, first, I want to thank you again for taking the time to come on today. I've been so honored to know your family for so many years, probably at least 40 years that I've worked with you and your family and your father and so on and so forth. And the most important thing to me is over the years, you're not a client, you're a friend, and that I really appreciate. But your collecting is just extraordinary. What you have developed with the Sanfilippo Foundation is just absolutely incredible, right in Barrington, Illinois. I mean, so many people don't even know it exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is like a little hidden secret, and just it's a beautiful location. My father, when he was working at the nut company, he drove out to Jewel's headquarters, used to be based in Barrington. And when he was driving out there to deliver some nuts, he got lost and just discovered Barrington Hills at that time and fell in love with the area and decided to move our family from Niles to Barrington Hills, back in the late 60s. So a perfect place to grow up, and then he started collecting and built his collection in that location.
Jeffrey, I understand that Randy might be responsible for your dad coming to the phonograph shows all those years and starting his automatic music collection. Is that true?
I appreciate that. Yes. Randy was one of the big inspirations for my father over the years, and with the integrity and the quality of the machines and the experience and knowledge, Randy really helped with his teammates to educate my father along with other people to really build an extraordinary collection.
Well, I'll tell you, your family, your father and you have taken collecting to the extreme. There is absolutely no finer collection anywhere in Illinois, and very few collections that even rival it anywhere in the United States. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible what you have done. And
thank you.
Jeffrey, again, when I say taking it to the extreme, your father, of course, was a collector before you, but now you have taken over the foundation. And I have to say, what you have done now is put your collection on steroids. The new addition that you have added to the foundation and the collection, when Susan and I were there last, I mean, I was stunned. I'm speechless.
Can I just say that was Valentine's Day, and we went to the most fabulous date night ever, the Sip and Savor at the Perfume Passage. It was magnificent. Tell us about that, Jeffrey.
Sure. So my passion for perfume, I think the gene passed on to me from my father, the collecting gene. And, you know, when I was studying in college back in the mid-'80s, I went to Madrid for a semester. And when I was in Spain, when I landed, I bought a men's cologne that I wore the whole time I was in Spain at school for 6 months. Went back to school. I went to USC in Los Angeles, put the bottle in a box. 3 years later, I was moving. When I opened the box and I smelled the cologne, I just instantly remembered my friends, my teachers, my experiences in Spain. So then I just started to keep the fragrances I would wear as a memory tool for me, and just extraordinary. And that's how my collection in perfume bottles grew.
Well, again, what you've put together with the perfume passage is what we call this addition to the collection, correct? The perfume passage.
Correct.
It's just outstanding. I mean, we saw items there that date back to BC. I mean, tell us just a few of the things that people can see when they're at this location.
Sure. Well, first, let me talk about the actual environment. So, Randy, you've done an amazing job finding extraordinary antiques for the collection. The 1890s American drugstore bar, that was actually the impetus, which we found at your auction house, was the impetus to really create the passage as it exists today. We wanted to recreate the environment of shopping for perfume back at the turn of the century in America, and then during the Art Deco era, which was the kind of highlight of perfume fragrances. So just the extraordinary location was part of your passion, and your auction inspired that. The actual collection itself, the oldest bottle is from 2500 BC. We wanted to really capture the history of fragrance and perfume. So the oldest bottle is 2500 BC. We have Egyptian bottles, we have Greek bottles, Roman bottles, and then expanded the collection, throughout history.
I just, again, didn't even know what to say. It was the first time that I had seen it completed. Of course, I've seen the construction phase and everything, but what an incredible addition to the already world-famous collection that you have there.
If someone wanted to tour your collection, Jeffrey, tell us what they need to do. Tell our listeners.
Right. So we've set up a foundation. So our family has two foundations, the Sanfilippo Foundation, which is my mother and father's legacy music collection. And then we set up Perfume Passage Foundation, which is mine and my partner Rusty's foundation. So you can tour Perfume Passage by setting up tours. We have a website, perfumepassage.org, where you can go online and actually set up tours to see the collection. There are 4 major rooms. There's the passageway, there's a drugstore, there's an Art Deco gallery, and then there's what we call the vault downstairs with some of the treasures of the collection. So easy to set up tours. We are going to work on doing combined music collection tours and the perfume passage tours as well. Wow.
What a highlight. What a highlight. The foundation, for those who don't know, has been raising money for charities for years and years. I mean, over $20 million has been raised for various charities throughout Illinois and the country and everything. The work that you guys do there is just absolutely incredible. So if somebody had a charity that they were looking to have an event, is that still possible? I know because of the location, you're limited as to what can be done there.
Correct. Yeah, so we can host 20 major events a year on the property. We want to be very respectful of our neighbors. We are in a residential neighborhood, so we limit it to 20 major events. We have a foundation curator, Greg Leifel, who helps set up fundraising events at the house. And so you can reach him through the sanfilippofoundation.org website, and he'd be happy to talk to you about, setting up an event for your foundation or your charity.
And I'd like to say kudos to Greg. You've really got a highlight in him because he does such great work. I've been able to actually be an auctioneer at many of the events that you've had there, and Greg has just been so helpful with everything that you guys do there.
Thank you. Yeah,
Jeffrey, I have a quick question. One of my favorite events there was the Hollywood memorabilia event that we held there. What's the most famous person you've ever met coming through your location there?
One of my favorite was Mickey Rooney. He was on tour doing an event at one of the conference centers, and he just was an extraordinary guy. Just talking to him about his career and working with Judy Garland and so many actresses, Ann Miller. And he was just fascinated by my father's collection at that time because he grew up with that in that era and just loved being there, listening to the music, listening to the organ. So he was extraordinary. David Copperfield is another one. He's a huge coin-op collector. I've met him a couple times, loves the collection as well. He's got an amazing collection of coin-op machines out in Las Vegas.
I have yet to go to a Copperfield show in Vegas.
No.
We're going to have to do that.
That's
a bucket list item.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should do that for sure. I think I know someone who knows him.
And of all the celebrities that come through the Chicago area, is there anybody that you're still looking to meet? I mean, once we talked about Paul McCartney.
Sure. Yeah, there's so many musicians I think would really appreciate this, especially the theater organ. I mean, it's just an extraordinary machine itself, and I just think they would be really appreciated with their musical background, the capability, the texture, the sounds that the organ creates, and then just the history of the other orchestrions and Nickelodeons and other music machines and phonographs.
Jeffrey, I'm going to hold that thought right there. I'd like you to come back in our next segment. I want to continue talking about the 100-year anniversary of the company as well and ask you some more questions if you can hang with us. Can you stay with us?
Sure, thanks.
That'd be great. You are listening to the Donley Auctions Hour. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're right here every Saturday on AM 560, The Answer.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. Susan and Randy Donley here with Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. Our special guest and friend and client and longtime family friend, Jeffrey Sanfilippo of Sanfilippo & Son Incorporated, and the Sanfilippo Foundation, the Perfume Passage Foundation. Jeffrey, we want to keep talking to you.
Oh, thanks.
You said something interesting during the break, and I really appreciate that. And that is that the auction world is important to people out there. As far as learning more and being able to acquire and so on and so forth. What's your thoughts on that?
Sure. So, obviously we've bought extraordinary things from the Donley Auction House for years, my father and me as well. It's so important to continue educating new potential buyers, collectors on the history of these amazing antiques, on their stories, because as you educate people, they become more interested and engaged and inspired. And your auction house does that. You do a lot of research when you purchase collections or your auction collections. I know you've educated me a lot and my father. And I just hope that continues because it's so important for collectors and just, creating a legacy of antiques.
You are so right. I appreciate you saying that, Jeffrey. We love you as a client and a seller as well. Can you give me an idea of what new collectors, even the younger generation, what should they be looking for today? What's hot out there in the auction industry?
Sure. So what's fascinating is there's just been a few articles the last couple of weeks about, Gen Z and millennials are fascinated by older technology. So think of the Walkman and the transistor radio and all this technology, original computers when they came out, the original Apple computers. There's such a fascination and interest in acquiring pieces like that for just historical purposes, but just, something that they're interested in, seeing what technology was like before.
I know we involved in antique music, but now they're interested in turntables and record players and amps, things from the 80s.
Yeah, but
I know vinyl's coming back.
Vinyl's coming back.
I always say, Jeffrey, when yours and my father were collectors, they were really only buying stuff that was 50, 60 years old, which seemed so old to us because our parents were collecting it. But it was really only from 1910, 1920. So that was really only a 50-year span from when they were collecting. So today, if young people are collecting 50, 60 years old, they're talking 1970s, 1980s.
It dates me for sure.
So collectors like you and I, who are kind of seasoned collectors, I'll say, sometimes I think have a hard time understanding people are still collecting. I keep saying they're not. They are still collecting, but they're collecting things that are much newer than what you and I would be collecting.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely agree. And like I said, if they understand the story of an antique or its journey or why it was created and that fascination and engagement, they will become collectors as well.
I agree.
Tell us what is happening out there at the San Filippo estate. Any special events coming up this summer?
Sure. We are starting our summer concerts and summer tours. We've got an introductory tour that's coming up on May 16th. We have one on May 23rd and June 3rd. We've got a really fun concert on May 20th, much loved music, songs we cherish, more contemporary 1960s, 70s, and 80s songs on the organ. Jelani Eddington will be playing that. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Now, are these events where people can buy tickets for?
Yes. So if you go to the sanfilippofoundation.org, there's a place where you can actually purchase tickets directly online. Wow.
Well, what a great way for people to actually get in and view the estate also. Not only do they get a concert, but, to see this mansion is just absolutely incredible.
Can I just say, if there's an event on Sunday, tomorrow, Mother's Day, there's an idea right there. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Susan.
Yes, that would be a perfect Mother's Day gift for sure. Anything else going on, Jeffrey? Everything good in your life?
Everything is great.
You're
Company's
busy?
doing well. We celebrated 100 years in business last year. We were started in 1922 in Chicago, and just exciting time for the company.
Congratulations. How many employees do you have now?
Oh, gosh, so we have 1,300 employees in Chicago, actually Elgin, and then we have a total of about 1,600 employees throughout the country.
Absolutely incredible.
Congratulations. Continuing that legacy, too.
And, I just recently, again, took a tour of your facility, and I have to say, all the staff, everybody working there was just so happy. It's like a happy place to be.
It really is. And my favorite place, Jeffrey, is the Fisher Nut Store. Folks, if you haven't been there yet, oh my gosh, it's right on Randall Road in 90. Stop in the Fisher Nut Store, one of my favorite places. Jeffrey, thank you so much. Is there anything else we want to mention for you?
No, I just think everything you're doing is awesome. Appreciate all you do. Please come out to the San Filippo estate to visit Perfume Passage or the Foundation for a concert. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jeffrey, so much for your time. We know you're a busy man, and we appreciate that.
Appreciate it, too. Take care. I'll see you soon.
All right,
okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Stay tuned, folks. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can consign items to us. Again, specific items we're looking for. Thank you to all of our listeners in the emails. Oh, my gosh. We're inundated with emails at consign@donleyauctions.com. We collect them all. We review them. We have our experts check everything and get back to you with next steps. But we're going to touch base a little bit more on the next one, the next segment, really, on how to do that. What do you have in your house? We'd love to hear about it. So you're listening, again, to the Donley Auctions Hour. Thanks for joining us right here on AM 560, The Answer. Don't go anywhere.
And now, more of the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
We are back with the Donley Auctions Hour. Thanks for sticking with us during that break. I'm Susan, co-owner of Donley Auctions, here today with my partner, Randy Donley. We just had the best conversation with Jeffrey Sanfilippo, the CEO of Sanfilippo & Son. Thank you again, Jeffrey, for the kind words about your collecting and how auctions have helped him, really, and their family become what they've become.
To acquire.
Yeah.
Well, certainly not to become what they've become, because they've done that on their own. But
auctions in general, that's where they find a lot of these great items.
To have been any part of it has been an honor for me.
You know what we didn't mention were the Hollywood handprints and footprints that he got at one of our auctions.
Yeah.
Those are also in the Perfume Passage down below.
Sure are. So rare.
Yeah, those were, they ended up getting Bogart, Cagney, Errol Flynn, Edward G. Robinson, and Betty Davis's handprints and footprints in cement. And
absolutely.
Those are on display at the Perfume Passage if you ever want to see those.
Yeah, try to find those, folks.
That's all I'm saying is that auctions is a great place to buy some historical items for sure.
It is, and people, I've got to say, Susan, people come from all over, not only the United States, but the world to buy from us. And that's one of the reasons people should consign. I'm actually meeting today later today with a gentleman who is arranging a trip for a museum buyer from Seoul, South Korea.
He owns a museum in Seoul.
Owns 4 museums.
Oh, it's 4 now.
Yeah.
Chamsori Museum in South Korea.
Yeah. So he'll be coming in June as a buyer. And so we're getting together to coordinate his schedule.
Tell everybody what's happening in June then.
Oh, my goodness. June, we have 2 huge antique phonograph and music box collections, both local estate jobs. And they are just phenomenal collections. If you're looking for anything in antique music, as far as a phonograph, a Victrola, old phonograph records, or even parts or these things, I mean, we've got it. Music boxes, phenomenal pieces. The beauty of these collections is you're going to find stuff in every price range. If you're trying to buy a little Victrola just as a souvenir for $50, $60, $70, we'll have it at the auction.
That's
if
right.
you're looking for a collector piece that's $10,000, $20,000, we have it at this auction. I mean, the gamut, the price range is just all over the board.
Well, especially I'd like to get some new collectors out there. You know, the younger generation, antique phonographs are amazing, and they're beautiful decor pieces, mechanical items. So there'll be something in all price ranges for everybody. And then that auction is, I believe, June 13th and 14th. It's the middle of the week.
Right.
Is that right? So it's like a Wednesday or Thursday or Tuesday and Wednesday. Check our website, DonleyAuctions.com. Come on out. Like you said, we have people from all over the world coming out. I got a call the other day from a customer who wants to travel from the Netherlands and wants to see the catalog. So we're working on it now.
Yep.
We're going to get the catalog going so you can see all the great items coming up.
And I want to thank everybody for listening to this. Also becomes a podcast. I had somebody just the other night saying, "Yeah, 1:00 in the morning is when I listen to you." So even though
put him to sleep,
even though we're I hope not. Even though we're doing 1:00 in the afternoon on Saturdays here, people hear us all over the United States at various times. It's
that's right. We
really
have
interesting
bidders from all over the world, like we said, in South Korea, Australia, all over the world bidding on our items, folks. So when you consign with us, it's not just local people. It's all over the United States and all over the world. We're on 4 bidding platforms, and each bidding platform targets specific collectors. So depending on what they're looking for, will depend on where they're going to bid. So we hit them all.
And our job is to get you the most money. And, you know, somebody,
That's right.
We mentioned this on our last segment. Somebody said, you know, if somebody's trying to buy something in a shop, their job is to try to buy it as cheap as they can because their job is to make money.
Right.
But our job is to make money for you. The way we make money is the more we get you, we're only charging a percentage. So as the value of your item goes up based on our research and work and effort to find the top buyers.
Photography
Right.
and descriptions and everything.
That's how we make money. We make money by making you money. So,
That's right. And then we're going to make it fit into your wallet. Right? We always like to say that.
Absolutely.
But that's why we want to get everybody to start looking around your house. What do you have that we could put into an auction? Because auction is a better way of selling.
Well, it is. There's just no question about it. But beyond that, we're not just looking for single items. So, I mean, we're looking for folks out there that already have large collections.
Right. Yes, because we have an auction a month, themed auctions. So we're already building up the next several. We're looking to add to that. Like you had mentioned, the airborne, some
aviation
items you have.
We've got a big aviation collection coming up from a world explorer back from the 1930s that was a very famous aviator. We've got all of the items that this gentleman, all of his maps, all of just so much memorabilia, again, coming directly from the family. So it's got incredible provenance. So we're looking for early aviation items to add to this collection.
That's
also.
right. And I also know we're working on a huge camera collection right now from a museum.
Yeah, we actually have that on display right now in Arlington Heights. We're working on that. It actually came from a museum in Missouri.
So what we do is we get these huge collections as a foundation for an auction, set a date, get working on it, and then we keep adding to it. So we're looking for specific items for our upcoming auctions. Again, everything's listed on our website at DonleyAuctions.com. If you do have something you prefer to talk on the phone, give us a call at 815-923-7000. But what we would prefer, folks, send us an email at consign@donleyauctions.com. It's DONLEY, auctions.com. Give us some information of what you have, where you're located, and send us some photos. We'll be happy to give you your next steps. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about how you can bid at our auctions next. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour, AM 560, The Answer.
The Donley Auctions Hour continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
We are back with the Donley Auctions Hour. You're here with Susan and Randy of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. We're going to touch a little bit on how you can actually bid in an auction. But first, I'm going to let you, Randy, talk about our new real estate division.
Well, right. I want to remind everybody that time and time again, we were going in to help people sell off their antiques out of their house. In most cases, it was due to a death in the family, and family members from out of state would inherit. And, oh, my gosh, how do I come to Chicago and, for lack of better words, get rid of everything? Well, as we help them, the natural next step was, okay, now we have to sell the house. And, of course, my daughter is a realtor, and we would always take care of the real estate with her. And she's now created what we call the Donley Group, which is our real estate division of Donley Auctions. And Shauna Donley, again, a Chicago area realtor here, now with the Donley Group here in Union, Illinois. And we do real estate in any part of the state. And actually, we can do real estate in any state. We can help in any state, all 50 states. So we're there for you. And we say, not only do we sell real estate, but we help people buy, sell, rent, or invest. And, Shauna just actually is closing on a farm right now, a farmland that somebody that,
nice. Is that in Illinois?
It is. And
everybody's
actually,
moving out.
We were hired to do a gun collection for this person. And it turned out, we helped with the real estate too. So.
And remember what Sean Thompson said. Donley Auctions, big or small, they do it all. That's us. So give us
new motto.
Give us a call, 815-923-7000. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Ask for Randy if you need to. Otherwise, send us an email at consign@donleyauctions.com. Give us all the information. Throw us a few photos. That'll help us direct you with your next steps.
You got it. So, but remember, we're always looking also for automobiles, motorcycles.
I love cars. So.
Oh, yeah. Susan, by the way, anybody that has a 69 Camaro.
Yeah,
Susan,
red with a black convert top, call me, 815-923-7000.
Susan wants one as a birthday present.
Instead of an engagement ring, I want a 69 Camaro. What's wrong with that?
I don't blame you.
Make a note.
But again, not only cars and motorcycles, but everything that goes along with it. We need gas pumps. We need the porcelain signs, the big gas station signs. And, of course, just like we've done all over the city of Chicago, we sell huge company and business signs, these big old neon signs that used to be in front of companies. Who knows what you know of laying in a warehouse somewhere around the city of Chicago. So keep us in mind.
That's right. And some of the things we are not asking for right now are furniture.
Right. We can't sell furniture.
We can't sell furniture. Nobody wants furniture anymore. So don't even bother with that.
We're not auctioning glassware. We're not auctioning
collectible, like
China.
Small collectibles, things like that. Many of the items that you had just mentioned, Petroliana, Tobacciana, all the Annas.
Yeah. Well, we love architecture, too.
Memorabilia.
I was just in Dalton, Illinois last night looking at an old antique bar and back bar. That's coming up for our November auction.
That's right. We're already getting started. We have an auction every month, folks. Check our website at donleyauctions.com to give you an idea of what we're looking for, something that fits into one of those auctions, because we're going to make that collection fit into your wallet. So it goes in a full circle. That'd be great. But if you don't have anything to consign and you're looking to buy, please come out to our auctions in Union, Illinois. You can bid live in person. You can place an absentee bid. You can place a phone bid. Tune in next week. We will have more information for you. For now, I'm Susan.
And I'm Randy Donley.
And we'll see you at the auction.
Thanks for listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. Check out all the latest information on upcoming auctions and collectibles at DonleyAuctions.com. And while you're there, you can contact someone about buying or selling your collectibles or estates. That's DonleyAuctions.com.